Hi Aries, this is Moon from Triple Moon Goddess 1111. I'm going to bring to you your sun sign horoscope for the year ahead, and also I'll do mini clips on the month ahead or the months ahead. First, we're going to start off about you and the Aries personality, strengths, talents, and creative spark, blind spots and blockages, and your intimacy and connection, values and resources, goals and success, and then the year ahead for you. So what I have here is your element is fire. You guys probably already know this, but in case you didn't know, all right, Aries the Ram, March 21st to April 20th. Your element is fire. Your quality is cardinal. Your polarity is yang masculine. Your planetary ruler is Mars. Your meditation is I build on my strengths. Your gemstone is diamond. Your power stones are bloodstone, carnelian, and ruby. Your key phrase is I am. Your glyph is the ram's head. Your anatomy is head, face, and throat. Your colors are red and white. And your animal is the ram. Your myths and legends are Artemis, Jason, and the Golden Fleece. Your house is the first house. Your opposite sign is Libra. And your flower is geranium. The key word is initiative. The Aries personality, your strengths, talents, and creative spark. You are always itching to initiate something, anything. After all, you love the rush of adrenaline that comes with those first steps down a path of possibility. You love the anticipation of finding yourself in circumstances that test you, push you, challenge you. You love knowing you have the capacity to step it up the plate and knock it out of the park. For you, life is not life without the promise of new beginnings. If you thought everything could be predicted day in and day out, you would find yourself on the road to instant depression because such a life is incomprehensible to you. This is a strength, a talent, and the spark to your creativity all rolled up into one. That indefinable urge that comes from deep within you to begin anew over and over again with no end in sight. This is what sustains you, that call to take a risk, that leap into the unknown with a confidence and knowing that quite often astounds you and everyone around you. That surety allows you to fall down and immediately pick yourself up again without hesitation, without fear, without second guessing yourself. In your world, you know what you know. Label it what you will, instinct, intuition, or a hunch. It's what drives you, and what is labeled doesn't interest you as much as where it takes you and what it shows you about who you are and what you can accomplish. Your blind spots and blockages. Did you consider as you were rushing headlong down the trail that everything in life is not a battle? You can butt those horns as much as you want, but not everyone is interested in being the target you use to prove how strong and courageous you are. Life requires more than just pure adrenaline. Sometimes it demands more measured responses. One that is assertive rather than aggressive. One that is considerate and not pushy. One that acknowledges you are not alone on the planet. Looking for obstacles to overcome or trying to prove yourself all the time can get a bit tiring. True, you are hardwired, continually looking for something new to engage you and give you the chance to conquer one more little corner of life. However, your fear of failure and lacking what it takes to triumph often impels you past to the point where common sense should kick in. Your blind spot is not recognizing that, always testing yourself, always wanting to go beyond what you did yesterday leaves a little room to be in the moment and appreciate what you've done, because you're already looking for the next challenge. Plus, it's not particularly kind or effective to expect the utmost and the extraordinary from yourself every minute of the day. Not only is it unrealistic, but it undermines you and your core and your triggers, your deep feelings and inadequacy. Time to recognize that inherent in risk, that is possibility that things will go sideways, and that you have the resiliency to turn what looks like failure into a testament to the sheer force of your work will to make it through adversity and come out other side stronger. So your intimacy and your connections are, this aspect of life can be a challenge for you, not because you don't like people, but because you are often mystified by what motivates others. This leads you to talk about yourself, not for self-glorification, because you really don't seek or need other people's approval, but because you are looking for something in others that reminds you of yourself. You want to see that flicker of recognition on the other person's face that demonstrates you have something in common. Otherwise, you aren't sure exactly where or how you can make a connection. Never mind, build intimacy. The key here is to realize that if everyone was exactly like you, you'd be bored out of your mind. You don't really need to see yourself in others, because you already have a strong sense of who you are. What will actually nurture you is embracing the differences in others, because that leads to new experiences and new perspectives that enrich your life and introduces you to even more what life has to offer, or can be limiting and stultifying to spend your life locked in your own view of the world. So let go of the need to know everything and be right. Open your heart and your ears and your infinite capacity to take risks, to connect with all those marvelous humans just waiting to be your friend, your lover, and etc. Your values and resources. The cornerstone of everything you value is based completely on being self-reliant and self-sufficient. Your heart beats a little faster, your happiness rises ever higher when you can look at the world and know you created it. Whether it's your physical, emotional, or intellectual or spiritual world you are contemplating. And because you love to test yourself, you are extremely resourceful in finding ways to meet any challenge you dream worthy. The truth is, you feel that you alone are the only resource you really need or can truly rely on, which is why you are utmost allergic to asking for help. That automatically implies some failure on your part. You will, however, accept support from others because that still puts you in the driver's seat. As long as you are leading the way, all is right with the world. And for external measuring sticks used to determine self-worth, money and possessions, they hold little value to you on their own. They only matter as a symbol of what you did and what you accomplished. You don't need them to validate any aspect of this adventure you call life. And your goals and successes, you definitely enjoy making things happen, big or small, short term or long term, practical or spiritual. The satisfaction is always in the doing, in forging a new path for yourself and expanding your awareness and your skill set. Definitely worthy goals you seek, and you seek to exemplify over and over again throughout the course of your life. For you, success is simple and straightforward. Act on your ability to initiate. Feel the fire within that lights you up. Push yourself to go further. And finally, enjoy the moment. When you prove yourself yet again that you can meet the challenge of life. Aries, your keywords for 2020, perseverance, preparation, and passion. The year ahead for Aries, the year 2020 promises to be one of the deep sensitivity coupled with a powerful urge to express your personal power by overcoming obstacles, both internal and external. The need to see more than a flash in the pan, or that individual who will do anything for a shot of adrenaline, requires a deep transformation of how you show up in the world. Recognize that this dissatisfaction you identify as coming from others actually has its genesis within. You are strong and capable. You always have been. It's just that now you want your life to reflect and gravitas. Your gravitas no longer are satisfied with being the person who initiates things or the person who takes risks when no one else will. Whether those risks are physical, emotional, intellectual, or spiritual, you definitely find yourself wanting to be taken more seriously, which translates to depending your commitment to life in all its shades and nuances. Not just those that make your heart beat a little faster in the moment, but fade because they contain no real substance or substances. Or no substance or sustenances. So make use of your greatest asset, your ability to take action. Just remember to create a plan before you take action. Begin by channeling the powerful instinct that you have into redefining what you value in yourself and what is meaningful to you in your life. Allow it to guide you to deeper understanding of what you truly seek. Then build a foundation for that risk that you want to take. This process is bound to surprise you, the very core of your being, as you open inner doors you didn't know you had. And it will create a challenge to integrate two very powerful impulses. One that asks you to change from the inside out, creating a new way of taking risks and setting you up for long-term growth. And another that whispers in your ear that everything is fine, just the way it is, and that you need to protect yourself at all costs by shutting down any urge to grow. Why? Because you are afraid that kind of change equates to admitting that somehow you've been wrong all your life. Well, that's the furthest thing from the truth. You are on the verge of a major rebirth that will take everything you've been and done and use it as fuel to fashion the very best person you can be. I'm not going to go over these planets. That's long. You might get bored, but I will do the I'm going to go into the eclipses. How will this year's eclipses affect you? Eclipses signal intense periods that highlight major growth opportunities for us in process of creating our lives. They are linked to lunar phases, specifically the new and the full moon, and evolve the relationship between the sun, the moon, and the earth. A solar eclipse is magnifying new moon, while a lunar eclipse is a magnifying full moon. Eclipses unfold in cycles, involving all 12 signs of the zodiac, and they occur in pairs, usually about 2 weeks apart. This year there are 6 eclipses, 2 solar eclipses, 1 in Cancer, 1 in Sagittarius, and 4 lunar eclipses, 1 in Cancer, 1 in Sagittarius, and 1 in Capricorn, and 1 in Gemini. This mixed bag of energy signals a shift from last year's focus, redefining nurturing versus babysitting, obligation versus accountability, family versus career, time for self versus taking care of business, and feelings versus thoughts or rational thoughts. 3 of this year's eclipses, the lunar eclipse on January 10th and the solar eclipse June 21st, both in Cancer, as well as the lunar eclipse July 5th in Capricorn, complete this cycle. The new eclipse cycle calls on us to understand that there is no wisdom in living in an ivory tower, stuck in our belief that there is only one way to live life, while cut off from the very life. Instead, we need to get down to the streets and actually experience our environment, talk to people, create a dialogue, and embrace diversity. Only then we can create a world that truly embodies freedom and opportunity. 3 eclipses, the lunar eclipse on June 5th in Sagittarius, and the lunar eclipse on November 30th in Gemini, and the solar eclipse December 14th in Sagittarius, begin this process. The first eclipse of 2020 takes place on January 10th, and it is our lunar eclipse in Cancer, highlighting your ongoing need to find new ways to take care of yourself. If you want to fuel that big transformation burbling just below the surface of your consciousness, no amount of practical preparation or rational thought can support you throughout a time when you are birthing a new you and a new life. This requires a connection that deep well in a feeling that underlies everything you do. Remember that this eclipse truly sets the tone for you this year, and if you choose to ignore its invitation, you really will be playing catch up with yourself all year, trying to find the footing that you need to move forward and put into practice all those new dreams and visions you have. The path and potential are clear. Embrace inner emergence of the new you rather than shifting or stiffing it, and the opportunities represented by the remaining eclipses in 2020. They point to a kind of success that satisfies you both internally and externally. Eclipses truly are signposts, but they are nor the journey. That's totally up to you. And I'm going to take a look at this timetable for you. Aries action table. So in January, 5 to 6% of you ask for a raise. February, 1 to 2% of you move. March, 8 to 9% of you seek coaching and counseling. April, 14% to 15% are new romance. So pay attention to April. May, there's really not much going on in May. June, 11 to 12% of you are vacation. July, 11 to 12% move. August, 2 to 3% romance. September is 1 to 2% seek coaching and counseling. And October, 3 to 4% of you ask for a raise. And November, 17 to 18% get a loan. December is 16 to 17% go on vacation. And that's your action table. So your romance is looking good in April and August, but it really looks good in April. All right, Aries, that's it. And I will go into the little monthly clips of what's ahead in the months ahead for you. Okay, Aries, thank you for stopping by. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.